Another quick tutorial on some things that I feel that I missed. Obviously, I started this whole thing with A and V, but I never really explained what that is. And so A, if you hit the A key, that is your contour edit tool. So let's say that I move this around and then I hold A, I can circle that and I'll go right to my point tool and or my contour edit tool, and I can edit or manipulate the shape. And that's fine. And then once I let go, I'm back at the select tool. So if I hit V, and let's just say that I'm in this tool and I'm manipulating shapes, right? And then if I hold V down, then I can just drag it, change it, manipulate it, and move it. And then once I let go, I'm going right back into, okay, a tool, right, that I left off with. And so that's really helpful, where, like, say if I'm in a brush tool and I'm brushing and say I'm painting, right? And then I hold the E key, which is erase. And then once I let go, I'm back in brush. So that way I'm not doing this back and forth dance between tools. Which leads to the question then, let me take this texture off, which leads to the question then, how do I commit or permanently change these into the tool that I want? Because right now, if I hold A, it goes to the contour edit tool, but when I let go, I'm still back in the last tool that I selected. How do I commit it to these tools so that they're there for good and not just borrowing them for one time? And the answer is the Option or Alt key. It's Option on Mac, Alt if you're on PC. So if I hit Option A, Option V, Option B, which is for brush, all right, Option N for line, okay, Option Y for pencil, Option E for eraser. So by holding Option, that does permanently move it to that tool set. So A and V are also very, very important in regards to taking care of your shapes and editing and manipulating your shapes. Also note that this contour snapping can be a pain in your way if you're doing any finessing. So you might want to turn that on and turn that off. One of the things too I like, which it was illustrated in the Flash tutorials, is how to draw through or draw past something. And if you draw through or draw past something, let's say like I'm going to move these guys out of the way, so I'm going to hit Option V, and I'm going to move 3 of these out of the way. Okay. If you say and you create these, let's say crosshairs at the end, you can use what's called the cutter tool, and the cutter tool will actually snip the ends off. And I'm going to use, where is that? I just want to do lasso on there. Snip the ends off here and here. And that's great, right? This helps you do a line snipping. And if I'm not mistaken, when I do the cutter tool, sometimes it's set to flat or bevel. So if you cut these ends, you'll see this weird gap here. And that's not what you want when you're cutting these. So you want to make sure that when you're cutting these ends off, that it's set to round, so that when you cut it, you can get a nice rounded edge. And then if you want, you can select this, both of these, heal it, and then create a miter joint at the end. Okay, and then you can also hit Option A and bend it, and you'll get a nice little point out of that too. Okay, so this is a little side note and some things about some of the tools here is Option A, Option V, Option B, right? All these things work in conjunction to each other. So I love how you can just borrow a tool, not have to constantly go back and forth to the well, so to speak, to keep getting the tool that you want. It's a tremendous pain in the butt, and it's something you really wouldn't want. Also, under here, under the contour edit tool, you have this really cool feature called what I like to call the roll cage. And this roll cage feature lets you select, like, say, a group of points right here, and then lets you rotate them from any point that you wish. So say if I want to take this point and I want to rotate it from the center here, I can do that. And that's really great and useful for, like, maybe if you wanted to create multiple drawings of something where that was bending, like say a fish or I don't know, some sort of hair, right? A hair object that was bending or manipulating. And say that I wanted to straighten these out, I could do that and say, oh, let's straighten them out from this point or this curve, and I can just rotate them there from here. Okay, oops, make sure that they're all selected and rotate them from here. Okay, so also if I wanted to take some points and I wanted to move them ever so slightly, if I wanted to nudge them up or down, I can use my arrow keys up or down, or I can hold shift and say up, down, left, and right. And I can move these all over the place by holding shift. So being able to nudge points into position is super helpful. But what if I wanted to get the curve or the bend out of these and bring these back to straight lines? That's easy. Select the object, select the point by drawing a circle around it, hold Option or Alt, and click on them. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That will also flatten the line out. And I can just move this up, right, until it's a flat line again. There we go. And just nudge it in place. Okay, so that's a few other things that I needed to address. There's always something, because it's such a big and robust program, there's always something and something cool around the corner that you can easily forget to address. All right, I hope that's helpful. We're going to move on to the next one, which is global color.